Welcome YouTube. Hello. Welcome to oops. That was supposed to happen. Welcome to today's game, Minecraft. You know, same old, same old. But today is the first episode of my command tutorials. Yes, it's finally here. Guys, I'm sorry I haven't been making videos in a while because, well, let's just say I've been busy and I've figured out a lot of commands that we will be going through today, and just, simple things that really help when you're trying to build. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So I'll see you guys in a sec. So those who are still watching must really want to learn how to do command blocks in Minecraft. Well, you've come to the right place, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce the command block. Really quick, the command block. With all of its potential, you could completely recreate Minecraft inside of Minecraft with these little puppies. So, as you guys just saw, that first one, because here, let me talk about this first. Because this is the first episode, this is very basic, and most people who have Minecraft for a very long time most likely already know this. If you still don't, well, continue watching. The command I just used, /give space tab space COMM tab. This is the give command, and it gives me a command block. Now that is what you're going to need to get yourself a command block, because as most of you know, it is nowhere in the entire creative library for some reason. So that's what you're going to need to know. Next off, you're going to need to know the 3 different command blocks. Yes, there are different ones. As you guys can see, here they are. You're like, hey, the Hood Gamer, they're all the same. Well, not for long. Look, if we come inside of this menu, we can see that there's a chain option. There's also a repeat option. So, and you can change. It changes the colors so you know which one's which. And then there's also another option that is extremely helpful. So chain, repeat, and conditional. Conditional is what conditional does. As you guys can see, the arrow pointing, it's got this nice little texture. That texture is pointing to the way that it will send a signal. And this curve right here, or the opposite side of the arrow, is where it needs to receive signal. Now, if it does not receive any signal, then it will not activate. That's why you normally see a lot of these specific ones, the chain command block in conditional form. But those are the 3 different ones, and they each have their own properties that allows you to use it, such as the impulse is just an impulse, a pulse, or a wave, just one thing, like a click, kind of. Just one activation. Okay, now it's important to know. This one is also this one will never be the beginning, because it is a chain. It starts the chain, so you can start a block with this, and then add chain blocks after it to start a chain of commands. Or you can use these purple ones, the repeat, and if you put always active, that is now going to activate 20 times a second, which means this is activating fast enough to constantly check everything. And then you can add some things like this, which will also activate 20 times a second. So that's just some basic information that you're going to need to know. Another very useful tip: when you're writing commands, if you hit G, on default, that's middle mouse button, you click it, but to change that, you go to Options, Controls, Pick Block. I have mine set to G, just because, I don't know, it's not being used. And if you hit Control G, what it does is it gives that an MBT tag, which copies not only the command, the command block, but it copies the entire command inside of it. The only thing it doesn't copy are the settings, or the one setting. the conditional or unconditional, which, oh well. So, that's that, and that's just the basic information. Now, to get into some basic commands, we can do the /give. Now, as you can see, there are little things here. Nearest player, this one means random player, all players, and all entities. So we can do nearest player, diamond. Now, because it's impulse, it's only going to work once, and there's this nice little feature here that needs redstone or always active. Now, because it's an impulse, it's only going to activate once. So if I do this, see, hey, I got a diamond. Thanks. But because it's an impulse, it only did it once. So if we set it to needs redstone and we put a button on it, well, hey, needs redstone. It needs redstone. And now we can push that button and get unlimited diamonds. However, if we want to change some things, it helps to know if you know some redstone. If you know some basic redstoning, then you can set these up too. Now, if we set this up, we're going to need to, here, I'm going to go like this. So, another basic command, see, so I just copied it, give the nearest player a diamond. This one, we're going to set to conditional, and it's always active. That means it's always active, except it's not going to activate until, because it's conditional, the block after it activates. So, let's put this one /give, oh, hey, you need to make sure you're in the box, /give nearest player emerald. So now, if I get myself a button, and I come and activate this one, see, I got a diamond and an emerald, because this one activated, and the only reason that activated is because that one activated. Anyway, sometimes it can get confusing, but if you bear with me and you stick to it, you will start to get it, and things will make sense. So now that you have that, if we add this, we can simply put it there, and we can put this one /give at p a diamond. Okay, and we're gonna leave needs redstone for right now. /give nearest player emerald. Okay, now if we set this to always active, if you remember, 20 times a second. Well, guess what happens? 20 diamonds a second. And yeah, it's just going to keep going until I turn it off, which I just did. So, those are just some basic rules you're going to need to know. Now, to find a list of all the commands you're going to want to use, you can do /tab. There's the huge list of all these commands, and that's not even everything that you're allowed to use. You can use tags, and then there's all these other things. So, what we're going to do, this one, is we're going to go over game rule. Now, this is going to be extremely helpful, and it's just going to help you out a lot. So, the /game rule. And this one, as you can see, there's even more commands inside of the game rule. So /game rule, spell it right, command block output, disable elytra movement, check, do daylight cycle, do entity drops, do fire tick. You can pause and read all of these if you want, but what we're going to do is we're going to go through all of them. It's not going to be as boring as it seems. So, first, as you guys can see, the sun is going down. I don't want it to go down. So, I'll do /game rule, do daylight cycle, and if I set this to false, flash, what is that? False, you can see the sun has stopped moving because the moon and the sun will stop cycling. The daylight cycle is stopped. That's a nice thing because now it's going to be always day unless I change it to night. So, that's our first one. /game rule, the next one, command block output. Now, if you want to check a setting, you can do game rule, and let's do daylight cycle. And if we just hit enter, you will see in the chat, daylight cycle is equal to false. Okay. So, that is how you can check settings. Now, there's this other one that I know. Slash game rule. The command block output. Okay. We have this as true. And what that means is every time I activate a command block in my chat, it's going to say what happened. But if I want to, and that can get really annoying sometimes. That's my face. That's my body. That's my face. Now, what we need to do to fix that, because we don't want that. We do game rule, right? And then tab, command block output, type false. It's been updated to false. Now, if I do this, you don't see my chat being spammed 20 times a second. It's pretty annoying. But, anyway, so that's really helpful if you don't want your chat to be spammed when you're making creations that we'll be making later on. Okay, so there's a lot more game rules like spawn radius, spectators generate chunks. We're going to be going through all of these. Okay, I'm just going to set up something really fast. Okay guys, so here we go. I set this up. Long trail. Now each command block sets, so this one is going to be like what it normally is in game, so what you see, and then this one is if you change it. I can show you each one. This one is game rule do entity drops. Right now it's set to true, so that means that when I kill this chicken, he will drop things, right? But if I set it to false, see, false, then he still drops stuff. Oh, hey, hold on. Okay, I forgot. I switched it up with another one. This one is the entity drops, so true. Okay, I'm still gonna, I need to do this. Okay, and okay, so it would help if I was in survival mode, because creative, you don't get it. Okay, so the true, when I set it to true, see, I get that, and I get that, okay, but if I set it to false, then it just disappears. See, that's what it is. Okay, on to the next one. The next one here is mob griefing. Listen, I know I spelled it incorrectly. We all make mistakes, okay? Okay, so, what's gonna happen? This sets it to false, so when we set it to false, okay, what happens when I set off this creeper with this flint and steel I had all along? See, he doesn't do any damage to the environment. However, if I turn it to true, well, you're in for a little nasty surprise. That was really weird. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh well. Okay, on to the next one. Random tick speed. Normally, the random tick speed is set to 3. This is a numerical value instead of a true false. So when it's set, that's backwards. When it's set to 3, which normally it is, when you break things like this, leaves, they kind of stay there for a little bit. However, when we set it up high, like 500, and then we break these, they disappear rather quickly, which is kind of nice. Okay, on to the next. Show death messages. So this one, when we set it to true, and see, we have Bob here. It says when he's running. I'm sorry. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does. Let's try again. Okay. It says the hood gamer fell out of the world because I died, and now I have to walk all the way back there. Crap. Okay. But when I set it to false, and then, see, it just says killed the hood gamer because it didn't say I died. Alright, the next one we're going to do, the mob loot. When we set it to true, well, you guys probably know what happens. We have Bob here. He drops things, right? When we set it to false, however, well, he don't drop nothing. Okay, this one, the Elytra movement check. Now, I myself am not entirely sure what this one does. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to go get ourselves some Elytra. We're going to put them on. And then I'm going to turn myself to survival mode. Like that. I'm going to step on this pressure plate. And I'm going to fly. And try not to... Nope, I died. What I was trying to say was... Well, we kind of need to be in this F5 mode. So, when it's true... We can see the Elytra's moving. There's all that fun stuff. Okay, ow. That hurt. Oh, hey. I need to put buttons on these. Let's try this one more time. With it set to false, remember, it's disable. It's disable Elytra movement check. So when it's set to false, I need to be in F5. I'm not noticing really any changes. Okay. I mean, they move and you can fly. What else is there to say? But when we, I can't see. When we set it to true and it's disable, well, I'm not sure what that changes, because they still moved. I don't know, guys, but I'm sure someone will figure it out. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been the first episode. I know it's been just kind of a little boring, but you know, it's because it's the first one, and this is for people who are like scratch new, like I just started. And we will start getting more complicated once we get to that point, which we have to go through all of these, or most of them at least. And once we do that, well, then, and only then will we start getting complicated. See you guys later. Bye.